Grave Tone.
Welcome to Grave Tone Podcast, where horror comes to life in every form it takes. I'm Meaghan.
And I'm Arthur.
And we're talking about a new release this week. We're talking about A Good Boy.
Good Boy. That is
Yay!
literally coming out in 2 days.
2 days from when this
episode
episode
you'll
drops.
get to hear about it before, if you're listening to us.
Yes.
Because
We were fortunate enough
Yeah.
to, so this film premiered originally in March at South by Southwest. So
Yes.
a ton of people got to see it. Them, lucky them. And there had been a lot of buzz about the film prior to its release in the first place. Everybody was like, oh, this is on my list of ones that I'd like to
Yes.
see because it's such an original concept.
Yeah.
And then after South by Southwest, it got a lot of love. And this past summer, we were fortunate enough to be able to see it when it was part of the lineup at Fantasia Festival. And I know we did mention it briefly, but we talked about it in our episode this summer when we talked about Fantasia. I think it's episode 5 or 6.
yeah, go
that
check
we
it out.
dropped
If you
in
don't know what it
April.
is, first of all, it's amazing.
It's a great festival.
But go check it out, see what it is, because it's a great festival, and their 30 years coming up next year, so it's going to
Yeah.
be something
Oh my
big.
God. Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
really excited for that. I
I'm
think
going
that's
to
going
get
to
all
be
the
really
tickets
cool.
for that one.
Yeah. So when, because of all the buzz around it, when they dropped like the full lineup for Fantasia, I saw that Good Boy was on the lineup, and I was like, we are going to see this
Nice,
movie.
good call, because it is great,
Oh,
and
so good.
it was so good, and now it's getting like a big theatrical release only a few
Yeah.
months after it's doing the tours of
That's
the festivals and
fantastic.
stuff.
I know.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's really exciting because this film is written and directed by Ben Leonberg, and it's his first film,
That's crazy.
which is wild.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Congratulations to him and everybody who I'm sure worked extremely hard to like make this film work in the first place. Shall we just give very brief synopsis, like just right now, of what the film is about, or at least like just the basic before
Yeah,
we talk a little
100%.
bit about the filmmaker and the characters and the
Yeah,
film
exactly.
itself?
So, like, look, we're gonna do a review of it, but spoiler free.
Spoiler free. Just keep that in mind. The movie's not out yet, so we don't.
Yeah,
do
that's
that.
it. So it's only fair. We will mention a couple of things that we know because we were there,
Mm-hmm.
and when we were at the Fantasia Festival for the screening of it, the guy was there, the director
Yes.
was there, so he said a couple of things which we can mention that because it doesn't really ruin the movie if you didn't watch it yet.
Yeah.
But you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's the movie about? Tell
Yes.
us.
So essentially, the brief synopsis of the film is that it is about a man named Todd.
It's about a dog. It's a dog movie.
Okay, all right, shush. But what I'm saying is that, it's about a man named Todd who has recently moved into a new house that's very secluded and very isolated with his dog, Indy.
A very old house.
A very old house.
Yeah.
His grandfather's house, actually.
His grandfather's house, and it's in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah.
and it's basically falling apart in a sense.
Yes.
But
And
yeah.
so obviously, you can get the feel just from that of like obviously what ensues. People move into new creepy fucking houses and then weird things start to occur and you start to question what it is. However, there's an additional level of interest and also confusion in this film because every aspect of the story is told from the perspective of Indy, the dog.
Yes. So the whole movie is from the dog's perspective. It's shot low to the ground. I think in an interview I was reading like the dog is something like 20 inches off the ground. So
Yes.
that is the view you see.
Yeah.
Right? Like a lot of the times, basically like the main character, you don't really see his face.
No, that's
There's
it.
only
Because-
maybe a few seconds in the movie that you do. And that's it because again, it is shot from the perspective
It's
of the
shot
dog.
from Indy's
Yeah.
perspective. So,
And which is something interesting that I was reading is that fun fact or not, whatever it is, but dogs when they're looking,
Mm-hmm.
the first things apparently, or at least in this case, was that they're looking if you have something in your hands. Right,
Oh,
because
yeah.
like maybe you want
Do
to
you
give
have
them
a toy?
food,
Do you have
toys,
food?
whatever it is,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Yeah.
So they don't always like look up all the way up because that's
No.
like, you have to strain your neck and stuff. So a lot of the times they do look what's kind of happening in your hands, and the hands in the movie from the different characters that exist in the movie
Yes.
actually is the thing that you see the most from the human as opposed to the face.
Yes.
And that kind of like that really changes a lot because you don't get that connection with
Yeah.
the human characters,
Yeah.
which is actually super smart because it's from the perspective of a dog, I don't need to try to connect with the other
I don't
person
need to connect
or
with
the
face,
characters,
like
right?
their facial expressions
That's
to
it,
what's
exactly.
happening.
Yeah,
No, I
want
don't
to see
need
what's happening from the dog's perspective,
Yes.
and that was done very well.
Oh my God.
There's even some scenes that like you technically could see the face because he's in full frame, but it's
Sure.
like blurred out or it's darkened or whatever it is, and that was done on purpose, which
Yes.
is awesome and smart.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the filmmaking aspect of this from like start to finish is so interesting to see. And I mean, I do think that it really helps, obviously. So Indy is Ben Leonberg's actual dog.
Yeah, it's his real dog.
He's not a
trained
he's not
actor.
a trained dog.
Nope.
So it took ages to make this movie.
Well, actually, fun fact is that it took just to shoot, like the shooting days,
Yes, yeah.
400 days
Oh my
and over
God.
3 years.
Yeah.
Because, the main actor is a dog.
Is a dog. Yes. Well, Ben Leonberg spoke a bit at Fantasia
Yes.
After the screening that we saw, and he was saying that, yes, there are definitely challenges that come along with not working with a professionally trained animal on a shoot like this. I mean, I think even with a professionally trained one, having them be the main character and having most of the attention focused on them would be difficult enough to begin with,
course.
let alone the fact that this is really just his dog.
Yeah.
And, so a lot of the time, apparently the issues that would come up the most would be in the middle of a shot. He would just stop walking when he was supposed to be moving forward. They'd be calling him forward, and he'd stop walking and start scratching himself or
Yeah,
lick
that's it.
himself or do a normal thing that dogs
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Or just get distracted by something and walk off
And
frame,
walk
and you're
away.
like, God damn it, Indy.
Or he would walk up to the camera and boop it with his nose a
Yes,
lot.
yeah, and then it would be all smudgy and
Yeah.
wet, and they have to reset
And
and
they'd have
clean
to
the
reset
camera
and
lens
do
and
it
everything.
again.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious.
Yeah, but I do think that I feel like the filmmaking aspect of this is so brilliant because exactly what you were mentioning, like the way that it's shot, from lower to the ground, the way that you don't focus on the faces of the human characters at all. Everything's
Exactly.
very focused on the face of the dog.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not like shot from the dog's perspective. The dog is still in frame,
you
but
see
you
him.
only see it as like a point of view.
Yes,
right?
it's like it is. It's like not in like, not like a...
You're not inside his head.
No,
Yeah, you're
it's not
just-
that type of
you're
POV.
beside.
It's his perspective.
Yeah, it's
without-
a third person POV of the dog, essentially. If you
Yeah.
want to be technical about it, that's what it is.
Yeah. But it also helps, I guess. I mean, I can only imagine he was inspired by this to a degree, but it probably also just helps that he has a very expressive looking dog.
Yeah.
Like Indy makes facial expressions in the movie.
Yeah, when he's concerned and everything,
Yeah.
you can see it because it's a scene that requires
that
right?
requires
Yeah.
that kind of feeling. So apparently Indy's a Nova Scotia duck tolling retriever.
Okay,
That's
wow.
the breed of dog that he is. They originated in Nova Scotia in
Okay.
Canada. So they're from our neck of the woods,
Cool.
kind of, in Yarmouth County apparently. And they are a breed of retriever, and apparently oftentimes they're smaller, but they're mistaken for golden retrievers apparently
I can
all the
see that.
time is the thing.
Yeah, I can see that.
And they're described as intelligent, eager to please, alert, and energetic.
That's what it is.
Yep.
That's exactly
Ooh,
what it was.
Because they're a toller and they were used or bred, I should say, primarily for duck hunting. They have webbed feet. I know. That's weird.
Interesting. I've never heard that about a
That
dog.
is
but
very
all right.
strange. Yeah, I had no idea. The
Wow.
name tollers derive from their ability to lure waterfowl within gunshot range. Huh.
Look at that.
Listen,
Hey,
I'm learning
more you
something
know.
new.
I know,
They're
right?
so...
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
He's so cute.
He's so cute.
Oh
It's
my
insane.
God. Every time anything scary was happening and he would have a little whimper, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? I don't want anything to happen to the dog.
Yeah.
Because that's what this movie is doing, right? It's taking the feeling that all of us horror lovers have, where we're just I don't care what happens, but nothing better happen to the dog by the end of this movie.
Yeah.
And they made it the primary focus of the film. So the whole movie, you're just stressed out because
Yeah.
you're oh God, the dog.
No, seriously. And after the movie was got a trailer, a much wider audience, whatever it
Yeah.
is, that people started paying attention to it a lot more at the mainstream level, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, searches for does a dog die at the end spike 1,000%.
Oh, it must have. People must have
Everyone
been
wanted to know,
do
yeah.
I want to even go see this movie? Because if the dog doesn't make it through, I don't know if I want to go see the film.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
But yeah, all of this has been really impressive. And like we said, actually, it's true that there isn't technically much of a focus on the human characters very much in the film. I mean, obviously, Todd is featured heavily, of course, because he's Indy's owner. And so that character's featured heavily. It was so weird. When we were watching the movie, I kept thinking that the actor who played Todd was Ben Leonberg in the first place because they looked really similar. Again, because you don't see his face
Yeah, it's
incredibly
true.
well through the shoot.
Yeah. I really thought it was
Because
him.
he was at
Yeah.
the screening, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, is he in the movie?
Mhm.
Is he the
I
person who's in the
thought
film?
so.
Nope.
No, it's not.
Apparently
It's
not.
a different person. Yes.
An actor named Shane Jensen, who also does a good job, and also in spite of the fact that must be difficult because you don't get to show anyone like what's going on facially,
That's it.
right?
Yeah, he does actually a lot of physical work with the
Yeah.
body, the way that he conveys the emotion, and also with his vocal performance is also
Definitely.
very, very good.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was really good.
That's it.
And but this movie did, I mean, obviously it got some people's attention to a degree because it also stars Larry Fessenden as Todd's grandfather's character, who you do see flashbacks
Yes.
of in order to give like backstory and credence to certain aspects of like the
Like
quote
what's
unquote
happening
like
in
the
the-
hunting, like what's
exactly
going
what's
on
happening
essentially
in
in the
that
house
house,
because
yeah.
it was his grandfather's house originally.
Yes.
So for maybe people who can't think of anything off the top of their head, Larry Fessenden has been in a ton of different films and TV shows of all sorts of different genres over the course of his career. Behind the scenes wise, he's actually best known as the co-writer of Until Dawn, the video game. He co-wrote the game with
Okay,
Graham
nice.
Resnick in terms of like films, things like Bringing Out the Dead, We Are Still Here, The Dead Don't Die. He's in that. That's like a fun one.
I love
Very
that
like
movie. Yeah, that
mumblecore
was
comedy. Apparently more recently Killers of the Flower Moon. So
Okay.
he's been in quite a few different films over the years and things like that and has had like a pretty storied career. So I was like, oh wow, cool. Hey, someone is like known in this film, even though it's like a very independent sort of production. Although,
is.
granted, to be fair, post, of course, the way that it blew up after it premiered at South by Southwest, it was picked up by IFC and Shudder.
Yeah,
So,
pretty good.
yeah.
Yeah. No, he actually did a great job of kind of like, I don't want to say marketing it, but pitching it in a sense, because
so, yeah.
at the beginning, he said, I was reading this in an interview, that while he was filming it as a proof of concept, quote unquote,
Yes.
he released some shorts of it to people
okay.
and to like, during some festivals, it was run like a couple of a short thing, and he
Okay.
was pitching it as like, well, what if you get, the perspective of a dog on a hunting movie or whatever,
Yeah, what if
right?
I had a haunted house movie, but it was
Yeah.
all told from the perspective of the family
That's
dog,
it, exactly. And like
basically.
the shorts that he did, people really liked it. So, he decided to continue filming it, etc. And then it just kind of like snowballed and grew because it was getting attention and stuff. So actually very smart in that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's it. And
Yeah,
it's
it's really cool.
It's one of those too that for people who are like, I'm gonna be tired being this stressed out for this dog for the whole
I
time.
was stressed out.
Yeah, I know, me too. To be fair, like I was sweating, but it's only 73 minutes long.
Yeah, it's like an hour and what, an hour,
about
13
an hour
minutes?
and 10, 12,
Yeah,
15
that's
minutes.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
it.
actually very good.
Yeah.
And it is enough. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
It didn't have to be longer, but it didn't also have to be shorter. It is
And
the
it tells
perfect
the whole
amount.
story.
It tells the whole story. You sometimes understand, sometimes you don't, because
Mm-hmm.
I clearly remember there is a scene, and this is like not a spoiler thing, but when the guy is walking with a dog in the
Todd,
woods,
yeah.
and then someone comes to talk to him, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
like a neighbor. And then the dog is kind of sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
and he's kind of listening. You just see kind of like at knee level,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're talking about it, and the conversation's going on, and then the dog just walks away,
Yeah.
because it's like not interesting.
And he wouldn't just sit
Yeah.
there for a half hour, would he? He would go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like a creepy scene that happens,
But then like
whatever
the
it is,
voices
but
fade out
Yeah,
because
that's
he's
it.
like leaving the conversation. So you're like, where did that conversation go? But it doesn't
matter because the dog's perspective, right? Exactly. And that's like that's something that was really cool and that I really liked about it, that like the creepy factor sometimes it's not even what's happening with the people, it's what's actually happening to the dog, because he sees things in a different way.
Exactly.
It
And
was
I love that so much. And I find like every once in a while in a film you kind of get that with like, oh, you'll have like one scene that's the perspective of like the dog or one of the kids. That happens more often.
Yeah.
I find you're more likely to get like the perspective of a child,
Makes sense.
which again adds a level of like naivete and like like a really different viewpoint
Yes.
of a lot of
That's
these
it.
things, which is great and that's awesome and that's a good thing to do, particularly if you have like just a child actor who's very good at portraying all of that, and we're seeing more of that now. But it's a different flavor to have it from the perspective of an animal because they emote differently. They cannot speak to anyone
Yeah.
and convey the feelings that they're having about something. They cannot ask a question the way that a child could ask a question of like their parents or anything. It's just him trying to figure out what is going on. And somehow this movie manages to show you those steps, like the thought process
Yes.
of the dog,
Yeah, that's
which
it.
is
That's it.
wild.
It's crazy. It's so good.
Yeah.
You feel for the dog. You're like anxious about what's gonna happen because
Yep.
really all the way until the end, you have no idea if it's gonna be, you know, if something bad's gonna happen to the dog, something
Yeah.
not, whatever it is. It's really all the way until the end. Like
Yeah.
it keeps you on the edge of your seat.
I'm always happy when I generally am kind of happy when we see things at Fantasia, like at a film festival or something that I just happen to not have really watched a trailer for, and so I go in more blind,
Yeah.
and it just adds something
It does.
to the
Yeah.
experience where I find that I'm like, oh, okay, I can't wait to genuinely be surprised by this, because I'm sure other people feel the same way that I do, but trailers just give away the whole friggin'
nowadays,
movie
yeah. I
most
know.
of the
Nowadays,
time.
yeah.
And it's
And-
so rare that doesn't happen.
I know. And actually, speaking of which, Shelby Oaks is also something we saw at Fantasia, and we are definitely going to see it
Okay.
when it comes out.
Yeah, so that'll be that's going to be, you're going to get 2
That's gonna be
episodes
next
this
episode.
week, guys, because we were again incredibly lucky enough, and that's it. We're just going to keep singing Fantasia's praises apparently, but we were lucky enough in last summer, so summer of 2024. What year is it? Summer of 2024. We were able to see the, I believe, world premiere.
Yep.
Of Shelby Oaks, which was written and directed by Chris Stuckman, who's a very well-known YouTuber.
Yeah.
Does movie reviews and things of that sort, who'd been putting together this film for ages. I think this was like a labor of love over the past like decade or so, really, from the time of like conception.
Keep it for the next episode. You're saying
I know, I'm
everything.
sorry, I'm just saying. Anyway, we were fortunate enough to see that and see the cast and crew
Yeah.
at the premiere as well, like at the screening, which was really fun, and hear some of what they had to say. So we'll talk about that a little bit in our episode after we're able to see it again, because it turns out we're going to be seeing a slightly different film than we originally
Yes.
did, because after it did very well on the festival circuit, they were able to get more funding. So apparently they went back and I think added some scenes, reshot some others,
some stuff. Yeah, that's what I saw
and
as
have
well.
changed certain things. So it also, Good Boy is out in theaters this coming Friday, October 3rd. Shelby Oaks is also getting a theatrical release this coming Friday, and we are going to find a screening of it, and we're going to go.
100%.
And I'm so excited to see like a new movie, essentially like
yeah.
something that
In a
will
way.
be different, and I won't be seeing the exact same thing again. Oh my God. Also on this coming Friday, VHS Halloween drops on Shudder. Like
Christ.
we're being inundated.
Are we just taking a day off for work and just like watching all of it?
Okay.
Like, yay.
But anyway, yeah, since we were doing this ahead of time, we didn't want to do like a usual like sort of spoiler warning and then get into too much about Good Boy, because
Yeah, no.
I just didn't want to give, I was really worried about giving away too much of it. It's such an interesting experience and something really unique that was so interesting to
Yep.
see. And
Like you just got to see it.
Yeah.
Like basically, if you saw the trailer, that's fine. Do not read anything else.
Don't read anything else
Because like
about
I
it.
just searched for like an interview with him, and he says so many things in an interview because you know it's going to be released soon.
Of course.
And it just there's too much that is being
There's
said.
a lot of information.
Do not read that. Seriously,
Yeah.
do it after you've seen the movie at least.
Yeah. Oh, also caveat to piggybacking off of that exact same thing. Don't watch the trailer for Shelby Oaks.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't even do it, because there's some interesting that we were not aware of when we saw the screening that was super fascinating in like the filmmaking style and what they
Yeah.
subverted some expectations not too long into the film. And if you have the opportunity to like not get a spoiler, don't fucking get it. Just go see the movie.
100%.
Yeah, because
Same
it's
thing for
great.
Good Boy. Like it's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's wonderfully made. It's really well, like everything's so like interestingly framed and put together. It's surprisingly super emotional, which I guess, you know, it's got a dog at its core, so I guess that does make
Still,
sense.
yeah.
But really like surprisingly very emotional, and so effective,
Yeah.
both in terms of the emotion and the scares. There are genuinely really creepy scares in this movie.
They are. Yeah, it's true. There were some really good ones. Some that are built also really well.
Yes.
You know.
Oh God,
and-
yeah. The way that the camera learns to linger at whatever Indy is
Yeah, oh my
staring
God,
at in the
yes.
corner, and it's dark, and you're like, oh,
That's what I was gonna say. Is that like after watching this movie, maybe you understand why sometimes if you have a cat or a dog, it just looks at a corner of your room, and you're like, what the fuck
yeah,
is
like,
going on?
like we have 2 cats, and they have a tendency to do that every once in a while. You know, like the way that animals do, they just do that every once in a while. They're staring off into the corner, and you can't help but kind of be like, what are you doing? What are you looking at
Yeah,
over there?
and now that I've seen this movie, I'm like, I don't know.
And you're like, oh
if I
God, what
like
are you looking
that."
at over there?
That's it. Seriously, right now, I don't know why I find that this is a low rating right now before the releases and whatever it is.
Yeah.
IMDb is 6.5, which should be much higher
should
than
be
that.
higher.
That's ridiculous. Letterboxd is a 3.3. Again, should be much higher because like
This is at least a 4.
minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, look, to be fair, like on Letterboxd, there is only 1.4 thousand reviews.
Okay. But
So not enough.
I guess.
But on Rotten Tomatoes, it is 92.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
that is not the audience score because obviously not out yet.
No, they haven't put that out yet.
But yes, that makes a lot more sense.
I
This is
agree.
definitely like a 99 out of 10.
Oh yeah,
because
this
it's
easily like
different,
this
man.
is easily like a 90% or over film for me.
Yeah.
I'm super interested to see for us at the end of the year some of the stuff that we've just like happened to see this year. I'm super interested to see like how our top 10-ish lists come together,
gonna be really
like
hard.
how we put that together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see
We'll
how
find
that
out.
goes.
There's still so much more to come.
Oh
like,
my God, yeah.
gosh.
And we have a bunch of stuff to catch up on before the end of the year too.
I know.
Whew. Lord, I've been making a list of everything we've seen, but I'm also making lists of things that we still have to see before the end of the year. And I'm like, oh my God, okay.
Hey, maybe in October we can do our usual 30 days of Halloween.
Yeah, you know what? We can aim for, I don't know if we're going to have time for everything, but we can aim for at least a 20 to 25 days of Halloween. And
That's
it'll give us the
it.
opportunity to catch up on some
Exactly.
things. Okay, so yes, be prepared. Shelby Oaks will be coming by this weekend for you guys. If you have the opportunity and Good Boys playing near you, go see it. It's so worth seeing. It's such a
100%.
great film.
Yeah.
And anyway, until all of that and all the rest of the releases this month, because I'm pumped to see like what's coming between now and the end of October and then into November. Obviously, don't forget to check out all of our socials. We're at Gravetone Pod, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Blue Sky, all the places. But until next time, guys. Snail mail. We don't have a PO box or anything. We're not that good.
ICQ. I don't know.
Oh my God. Okay. Wow. Stay scared and stay tuned,
Just
guys.
aged us.
Stop it now.
Ciao, guys.